Hey kids, and welcome to the show. Today I'm going to be talking to you guys about humility. Actually, I'm going to be talking to you guys about false humility and what false humility is and how evil it is and how it can creep in undetected. Well, what is false humility? Well, what's humility? Let's define that. Humility is that sense of an unworthiness. Yeah. Humility means that you put yourself beneath people, that you humble yourself. You drop down and say, I am not as good as this person or this God. So we say we have to humble ourselves by lowering ourselves. The problem is sometimes we lower ourselves when we shouldn't. There's this story, and we just talked about it at church, and it's the idea that a rich man can't or has a hard time entering into the kingdom of heaven. It's the idea that the scripture is it is easier for you to take a camel through the eye of a needle than it is for a rich man to attain heaven. What does that mean? Well, the eye of the needle was this external gate, and in order to get through it, you had to get off your camel, and your camel could walk through this gate. Now, this is like an after hours gate, okay? And if you were wealthy and you were riding on your nice camel and you went to this after hours gate, they would say, you have to dismount your camel to come in. And so they had to humble themselves. They had to get off the camel, to enter the gate. And there were some people back then, I bet, we don't know for sure, but I bet you there were people back then that said, screw this, I'm just going to go around to the main gate so I don't have to get off my camel. That's humility. That is humility. Humility is being able to say, I'm up here and I need to come down a little bit. So what's false humility? False humility is just the opposite. It's when you feel like you deserve something and it's yours, but then you're like, yeah, it's for somebody else, or no. We all do that, and that's the sad part of it. And I used to be very guilty of it, and it comes from not being able to accept a compliment. We're taught that when someone says, "Oh, good job," you're supposed to say, "Oh, no, it's nothing." Unfortunately, that leads to some false humility. So how does that affect us in this life and our life? Well, here it is. I'm going to give you two examples of how false humility hurts you. One, false humility hurts in the church because some people think that they're more pious and they know the truth 100%. And the truth can only be what they understand as the truth. And that's pretty dangerous because when it comes to spirituality, and the Catholic Church is so big, when you start saying, well, this song is okay and this song is not, it's tribalism within the church. And we see that happening within our government. It's this is the right way, this is, and there's no meeting in the middle, there's no middle ground. And both sides are saying, oh, I pray for them, and both sides are saying, well, I'm trying, and neither side is actually being humble. Another way you'll see people finding that their humility is, or expressing false humility, and this is one of those that comes from a place of humility, but is a dangerous place of humility. And this is the one where, let's say I'm an expert on, I don't know, cell phones. I'm an expert on cell phones. And you have me coming into your business to talk about cell phones. I really am not an expert on cell phones. So this is an old cell phone in a case. And just did something on it. It's turned on. Anyway, it's an old cell phone. I come to your business, your organization, and I'm going to give you a presentation on the cell phone because I am actually the person that invented the cell phone. Okay, we're pretending. I invented the cell phone. So I'm going to come in and talk to you guys about the cell phone. And then when I'm doing my presentation, one of the first things I say is, hey guys, I'm here to talk to you about this cell phone I invented. And I don't know everything there is to know about cell phones, but I'm going to tell you a little bit. Well, that is a little bit of false humility because you're literally in here talking about the thing that you just created. And yeah, you might not know every single thing, but you know more than the people in the audience or in the congregation. That happens when we try to show that we're humble and we're not. Itinerant ministers, priests do this a lot, and they'll say, we must pray every day. We all fall short every day. It's so hard to pray every day. I get it. I have problems praying every day. Well, that's a sad state of affair because there's some people that pray every day a lot, like all the time. And when you are in a profession or a vocation that is based on spirituality, you should be praying every day. That should be your priority. There should be nothing else that should take place of your spiritual growth. As a father, I pray every day. I pray in the morning before my kids wake up. I pray in the morning with my kids. I pray when they go off to school. I pray when they get home from school. I pray before they go to bed with them. And then I pray other times throughout the day. I pray a lot. I spend most of my waking hours praying because praying is just talking to God and trying to listen. Listening to God is a way to pray. Just listen. Now, I'm not saying I do it 24 hours a day. I listen to news and stuff too, but I pray. When I'm listening to these horrible things that are happening in Afghanistan, for example, I'm praying about those. I stop. I pray. So when it comes to prayer, I'm an expert on prayer and prayer time. 100%. I can tell you 1,000 ways that you can find minutes to pray throughout the day. When it comes to knowing every single prayer ever written, nah, that's not me. When it comes to having a spiritual life, I'm pretty good at that. So we are good at certain things. The people that are good at knowing all those prayers, we need those people too. But we need them to be confident in saying, yeah, I know these prayers, and not get up there and show a false humility. So this is kind of a little ministry rant because sometimes things happen and they trigger little things like this. But in youth ministry, one of the biggest struggles was sitting in a staff meeting where you have the pastor saying one thing and another minister saying another thing and you thinking something totally different. And all of you guys have valid, liturgically, legal reasons for wanting to do what you're doing. So, where do we go from here? They shut our churches down last year and people have been disconnected. Even when you're in church now, you do the sign of peace, you kind of wave. Where do we go now? Well, first thing we need to do is realize that we can be good at things. So find out what you're good at, get better at it, and find something else. Keep going. So that's the advice today. Be humble. Be the proper kind of humble. Ask for forgiveness when you do something wrong. Don't say you're sorry because you hurt somebody's feelings, because you are living a life of truth. Yeah, so it's a hard place to be because sometimes what you think is truth is just what you perceive as truth. Until next time, work hard, be kind, and have fun.